Hey, cats, good morning to you. Today we're going to touch on UN climate news. The American Heart Association comes to an independent conclusion. Biden visiting the border and jobs being cut by the thousands. All right, but you know the deal. You want to hit? Here you go. We're coming to get you!
Oh, got your butthole. How do you even grab a butthole? I don't know, but I got yours. So come on down to Target and get 5% off with the red card or something.
Good morning, toxic Americans. Welcome in. Like I said, we got a handful of topics for you here. We're going to start off with some UN climate news, right? So after years of telling us we're at the point of no return, we're all going to be dead in 12 years, AOC's Vietnam, and, the elites buying coastal property for, millions of dollars, we got some good news. It seems that the ozone layer is healing itself, right? They basically monitor this every 4 years. They've came out and said it's absolutely healing, that the hole will be closed over Antarctica by 2044, and that as a whole over the globe by 2066. All right, this is crazy news. To think that it's always Chicken Little shit, and again, this is after the UN also told us just recently, I believe it was 2 years ago, that there was absolutely no reason for America to be in the Paris Climate Accord due to the fact that we've already cut our emissions by 50% without being involved in that bullshit or funding other countries. Right? So, here we go, man. I mean, they're going to backtrack, but they're going to continue to use it as an excuse to, abuse your rights and tax you more because, it's only the government can save you. And a one world government, that'll really save you. All right, but moving on to the next topic here. So the American Heart Association has come to their own conclusion, and you're going to love this one. mRNA vaccines directly linked to myocarditis, right? It's the spike protein or antigen in the vaccine itself, and myocarditis does not heal, all right? And, so basically, you got to live calmly, I guess, do a whole bunch of volumes or some shit because you can't get your heart rate up. You don't want to get your adrenaline flowing because we've seen on quite a few sporting occasions here recently that even the tip top, conditioned of us will face the repercussions. All right. But, and then, so moving on to the next topic, directly linked to that, they've also come out and announced now that they have approved the first honeybee vaccine for parasites and whatnot, right? Due to mainly, issues with the largest issues to bees would really be pesticides, right? Nicotine based primarily at this point. We know how heavily our food supply relies on bees. There's times that massive collections of hives are moved across the country to pollinate certain types of crops. It's at that level to where we actually have to transport bees to pollinate. I mean, so what could go wrong in this situation? Again, we see some repercussions happening from our personal outlook on these substances, and now we're trying to give it to one of our food providers. Fuck yes, right? But moving on to the next subject, we all know that Biden recently visited the border, right, for the first time in his stewardship here. He took it down there, man, and he was supposed to go down basically to see the repercussions of his immigration policies, and that's not the case, though, because El Paso went to great lengths to clean up and hide the migrant camps for the cameras. And how are you supposed to see the repercussions if you can't, see the repercussions. But in the meantime, the White House on the back end coming out and saying that Americans are obliged to aid more migrants, right? They want the borders open. They want to destroy the country. They want to overwhelm it, keep wages down, keep money being shipped out of the system so they can keep borrowing and printing. It's the Cloward-Priven strategy, and if you don't know Boots it, check it out. I'm sure you'll enjoy the read a little bit, and you'll be able to make the connections for yourself very easily, I promise. All right, so these people are purposely destroying everything, and this isn't, you're racist, you have no clue. You know what I mean? And it's not about that. It's a pure economic situation and the health of your countrymen and everything we represent. They let it into, as a country of migrants, we were a country of migrants, centuries ago. All right, centuries ago. That's not the case. There's over 300 million people here. We see, the repercussions again of overpopulating a certain area, as in like the Middle East, India, certain parts of Africa and whatnot, mass starvation, famine, it's the good stuff, man. It's how you bring back plagues and whatnot. While keeping wages down and limiting jobs, and I know the left loves to, well, if a low skill worker can replace you at your job, what does it say about that? Anyone that's managed or employed knows you're going to try to get some kind of savings, all right? You want experience, you want work ethic. Both can be exaggerated and outright lied about, and one you absolutely don't know until after you've experienced the working of that person. So, it's on purpose for sure. All right. Next subject here. Goldman Sachs announcing they're cutting 3,200 jobs. Okay. In a normal situation, someone that's more liberty-minded, sound money-minded would say this is a good thing. Let's let these banks fail out of existence. No one's too big to fail, yada, yada. But that's not the case. In this particular instance, they are letting these people go in preparation for the economic environment next year. Right? Which, this comes after, tech and media here in the last months, eliminating tens of thousands of jobs. Okay. And and even the bigger names, Tesla, Amazon, all these people are laying off thousands of people. Okay. And, that tells you, because the whole time this is going on, you got the media telling you everything's all right. The bedriddens with Biden's admin is saving us all. They're bringing down inflation. Costs are, leveling, and wages have risen. But anyone out here that's making less than six figures knows that that's bullshit. Right? I was at good old Wally World yesterday, and a double flat of eggs that used to be about $9 is now $25. No exaggeration, no shit. Blew my head, man. $25 for a few dozen eggs. Insane. But oh shit, right? Breaking news, man. Breaking news. We have to move on here. Dan Crenshaw, right? Eye Patch McCain, after all his fits and calling opposition terrorists, has been snubbed for the Homeland Security Committee chair. Absolutely hilarious for Mark Green, who I personally am not too familiar with, but I will be after this video. Funny shit. This guy stumped for McCarthy, absolutely got on his knees and beat himself with his junk. And snubbed for the position he was probably going for the whole time, man. Hilarious shit. You love to see lizards get stomped, man. But anyway, that's the end. That's what I got for you, man. Like, share, subscribe, argue in the comments, debate, whatever. Tell me to fuck off. Smell you later.
A communication error from government officials throughout this pandemic by suggesting initially that the primary reason to get vaccinated was to prevent you getting COVID at all, as opposed to reducing the severity.
Well, I think it was the question of what people interpreted.
Our data from the CDC today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick.
The 94 and 95% efficacy in those trials was prevention of symptomatic disease, not prevention of infection.
That when people are vaccinated, they can feel safe that they are not going to get infected.
Question of what people interpreted.
The fact that we know now that these vaccines are highly, highly effective, number one. Number two, they're really, really good against variants.
Question of what people interpreted. There was a lot of people understandably felt that I'm not going to get infected at all. Now, that could have been done better communicating to the public, I admit.
And so I just can't face another surge when there's so much optimism right at our fingertips.
I was going to put him.
Idiots.